This is the Leadership and Lifestyle Podcast. My name is Banjore. Welcome. Today we are going to be talking about people skills. If I'm going to rank people skills on the scale of leadership influence, I'm going to rank it probably on the second scale because, of course, the first is going to be vision. Vision is what someone sees, and he now harnesses other people to help him actually actualize that vision. And so, scriptures also say, without people, the vision perish. And of course, without vision, the people run helter-skelter. So vision, one of the issues about the workplace is that most people have not learned how to actually rein in their emotions. So there are a lot of good people that are toxic. There are people that are toxic that don't know that they're actually toxic. So today, we are not talking about toxic people, but today we're actually talking about people that are nice, that are toxic, but don't know that they're actually toxic. But before then, I want us to take a look at two particular concepts: emotional intelligence and social intelligence. Of course, social intelligence is the ability to effectively navigate and manage social situations, understand social cues, and build healthy relationships with others. That is what social intelligence means. While we're growing up, the only social intelligence the training we had was from our mom. You're somewhere and your mom gives you, in Africa, gives you a kind of side eye. Don't go there, don't do that. As a matter of fact, when you are probably you are visiting a family friend and your mom takes a look at you, you know what it means. Don't eat or eat. So it's important that every one of us, we must be socially intelligent. But it will be your fault if you do not learn this the right way. And of course, there's the emotional intelligence, which is the capacity to recognize and understand, manage and influence your emotions and emotion of other people. That we cannot talk about adequate people skills when we don't mention social intelligence and emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence is inward focused, and social intelligence is actually outward focused. Now, let's jump into the fact that most people don't know that they are toxic. Learn to control your emotiveness. You must learn to also understand what people are going through. When you understand what you are going through and what other people are going through, you will know how to plow your own emotions, given what they are rendering. When you are toxic, it means that you lack emotional intelligence in some areas, you lack wisdom or simple empathy. Because if you have empathy, you will not be laying a lot of negative things on other people. So it has nothing to do with how wealthy you are. It has nothing to do with how rich you are. It has nothing to do with how poor you are. It has everything to do with you understanding who you are in such a way that you can also help to understand what is happening in the life of other people. Because if you are a leader, you must understand those that you work with. It's just that now John Maxwell said something very important. He said, people don't care how much you know. People just care how much you care. People don't care that you know this, you know that, but they just want to know if you care. Do you care for us? Do you care for me? What I'm going through, do you care? So, to build emotional intelligence as a leader, to build emotional intelligence as a father, as a mother, as a fiance, as a fiance, this is all. Because sometimes that breakfast they are serving you, it's not because you deserve it, but it's because you lack a simple emotional intelligence. And so, number one, you must practice self-awareness. Ask yourself, how do people feel about interacting with me? How do people feel about interacting with what you do, with how you do it? And when you have practiced enough of self-awareness, you don't react, you respond. When people say things to you, you don't just react, you just respond. I mean, you don't just fire an email. I mean, one area you can shoot yourself in the leg is when someone shoots an email at you that gets you flared up, and you just shoot that email back. Yeah, you didn't even calm down, think about it, you just shoot it back, and those emails, once you've sent it, cannot be unsent. So what we are saying is that we need to develop empathy. make an effort to see things from the other person's perspective. If you set out every day thinking, I won't always be right. I'm not I'm not right every time. If you said that, I mean, if you set that like a caveat in your clock, so that when somebody speaks to you or something, you don't want to see that you are right every time. Even if you are right, you know you are right for yourself. You know, and when they come to you with other suggestions, that doesn't mean you just flare up and just put them by the side. Let's move to the other one now. Let's look at common traits of toxic people. Sometimes people don't realize they have and are displaying toxic traits. Remember, self-awareness is knowing yourself, knowing who you are. But part of it is that asking yourself that, am I actually displaying toxic traits? You know, as a married man, you know, you think you are right every time, but you need to stop and listen to your wife. What she's saying, is it valid? Don't react, but respond. Don't react, but respond. So here are common traits of people that are toxic that you need to ask yourself that, am I that kind of a person? So now here is what will help you evaluate who you are. Number one, being overly critical. Ask yourself, are you always pointing out flaws instead of encouraging other people? There are a lot of people that they just point out flaws instead of encouraging other people. I could have loved to mention some coaches in the Premiership, but it would be a bit scandalous, and you know, people like, okay, I like that, I don't like that. But you know that there are coaches that they're just negative, they want results. And it's not wrong to want results. It's not wrong to want results. But the people you want the results from, are they in the best of physical standing? What I'm trying to say is that don't be overly critical. When you're overly critical, people will see you as being toxic, even though you are not. Number two, lack of accountability. Anyone who doesn't have someone that they submit to, and when I mean submit, I'm not talking about pastor or your mentor, but someone that can evaluate you, someone that can tell you the truth. I remember one time myself and my wife, we practiced this with our children, and we just sit around and we tell us, okay, tell me, what does daddy do that you don't like? What does this person do you don't like? What does mommy do you don't like? Of course, when they come to my turn, everybody will be careful because they don't know what daddy would say. You know, but I just tell them, don't worry, you can say what is in your heart. You know, so let's be accountable to the people that we love. Do you shift to blame instead of taking responsibility? Because see, sometimes when you take responsibility, it's a way of being accountable. It's a way of taking, because if you keep shifting the blame, you might not know that you are toxic. People who shift responsibilities every time, they can be said to be toxic. Toxic people is not those that will just beat people, slap people, or fight in the go slow, or maybe or just shoot people a memo or something, you know. But even in the subtle things, you can be toxic. Number three, negativity and complaining. I mean, there are a lot of people who drain the energy of other people. Oh, they are energy drainers. They come and they talk about this, they talk about that. I know I'm just someone who, when we discuss, we'll talk about their workplace, you know, so this happened at work, and I'm like, you've been talking about your workplace for like over an hour now. Can we talk about some other things now? So, oh, I didn't even realize this. Yes, for like 1 hour. I can't cope with your workplace because I'm not there. You might not be able to cope. Maybe you look for other ways of debriefing yourself. What I'm trying to say is that be careful and watch yourself. Don't complain and be too negative. Don't complain and be too negative. Some people cannot handle it. A lot of people can handle it. Some people can, some people can't. So be careful how you handle those that work with you. I mean, when you had profits in that company, you had profits, Christmas sales came in, everything was top, there was money around, You didn't call yourself and say, we had profit, so you guys, I'll give you. No, you didn't do that. It was after Christmas, January, February, there was no sales, there was not much sales. There were sales, but not as then you now started shouting on your people. I mean, calm down, man. Calm down, madam. Calm down. So generally speaking, toxic people, they are set to manipulate other people. So be careful not to manipulate people. For example, guilt trip or gaslight people or control others to get your way. Now, gaslighting is not a contemporary thing. It didn't just start now. It has been existing for a long time. So what I'm trying to say is that a lot of people at work, we gaslight people and we guilt trip them. What I mean is that we make people feel bad. We make people feel it's their fault that something is not working. I mean, manipulation involves deceptively controlling or using unfair tactics to twist or influence someone's thoughts, emotions, or actions for personal gain. I mean, the MD did not ask after them. The MD has not said anything. And here you call a staff meeting because you're their leader. You're not like saying, the MD is very angry with us. The MD is not happy. We are not doing much. We are not doing anything. I mean, there are things that are sensitive that I could mention here because I've been in public service for I've been in public service for about 18 years. So I see, I understand, I hear, and I'm privy to when a lot of things are going on in the office, and you actually see people, you actually hear people plan, and sometimes you are actually in the room when plans are being made to discredit some people. So we must be careful not to take part in those things. And if you are even there, be careful not to adapt what your bosses are doing. If you have bosses that gaslight or discredit others, don't do the same thing. Look for a better place of work. Don't do that. Because if you recognize any of the things I've mentioned above, that you practice it, don't panic. But you're already practicing being toxic. You're ready. So, but if that's who you are, if you are toxic, if you have agreed that you can be toxic, because there are people that are toxic, they know it. There are people that are toxic, they don't agree that they are toxic. There are some people that they are on the borderline. They're already practicing it. You have read 14 Laws of Power. You're already practicing Machiavelli. You've watched some movies and you are using that in the workspace, or you're using that in the church space, which is not what Christ teaches us to do. So, but if you want to change, then come closer. Let's quickly vibe. If you don't want to change, I think now is the time for you to just stop watching this video, because awareness is the first step forward. So what can you do as a toxic person to become better? What can you do as somebody who tends towards being toxic? Number one, listen more, talk less. If you're going to be a leader who other people will want to be around, listen more, talk less. People appreciate being heard. Instead of thinking about your response while someone is talking, truly listen to them. I mean, so many of us, I watch when I talk to a few people, as you are talking to them, they're already responding to you. And I tell them, I'm not landed. I'm just building up. And they're already responding to you. No, you must listen. A leader listens. You listen more, you talk less. Listen more, you talk less. Listen more, you talk less. You find yourself in a room filled with intellectuals or visionaries, and you are toxic. Stop shooting down people's idea. Of course, some people say that's the best thing to do. You shoot down other people's ideas so they can plant your own. If it works for you, fine. But that's not the best way. Number two, choose your words wisely. Choose your words wisely. Words have power. Speak in ways that uplift rather than tear down. Number three, let's move down. Number three, control your reactions. Before reacting in anger, pause and ask yourself, is this how I want to be remembered? What I want to say now, is this how I want to be remembered? Number 4, show gratitude. A simple thank you or appreciation for someone's effort goes a long way. Sometimes you are toxic, but sometimes showing gratitude can help you water down the toxicity that you show. Number 5, surround yourself with positive influences. I mean, growth happens when we are intentional about learning from people who demonstrate emotional intelligence and wisdom. Someone said, if you find yourself amongst the company of 5 foolish people, he said you are the 6th foolish persons. So I'd like to encourage you that we need to surround ourselves with people that are actually wise and that are growing. Closing thoughts. At the end of the day, relationships are the foundation of success in life and leadership. We all have blind spots. Every one of us have blind spots, regardless of how good you are. But the scripture says that even when a fool keeps quiet, he is thought to be wise. Sometimes our mouth gate reveals the kind of person that we are. Sometimes we need to work on our facials. Sometimes you need to work on how you express emotions, because some people might see what you are expressing as the fact that you are saying no to what they are saying. So we really need to work on ourselves, because John Maxwell said, he said leadership is influence, and there is nothing more to it, nothing more, nothing less. When people start running from you, when people start complaining about you, then it begs to reason the kind of leader that you are. So the question is, what kind of influence are you having on the people around you? Are you toxic, or are you the kind of leader that people will love to come around? I trust that this has been a blessing to you. If you have any questions, please reach out to us in the comments, or you can just DM. Please kindly like this, subscribe, and please push to someone that will like to listen to it. God bless you. Amen.